exhibits desert climate characteristics. Karapınar. Actually, the closest big city is Konya, is nearly about 1.5 hours away. Here you can see the boundaries of Karapınar village. It's a small city with a population of 55,000 people. To the north, there used to be a large lake in the 80s. Over the years, due to climate change and the unfortunately intensive agriculture, the lake dried up and this area transformed into arid land. This land is now unsuitable for agriculture. Recently, the government designated this area for solar power plant area, and Kalyon Energy developed a 1,350 megawatt solar plant here. This is more than actually enough for 2 million houses, not people, for 1 year. It is the largest in Turkey, and actually it's among the world's top 10. Actually. It's really huge.
Also, it's not very common also for us to be in such an area in Turkey, because we are not get really used to in this desert climate. It's not very common in Turkey to find one. Let's say, but this area, especially with the climate change and this intensive agriculture, really changes behavior, changes fauna, let's say, over the years, and now it shows dramatic desert climate characteristics. And if we look closer, the site covers an area of something like 8 miles by 1.5 miles width. It's not really easy to imagine such a
huge area.
With some numbers, but let's have to visualize the scale. We can compare it to Manhattan Island, for example, in New York. So during the plant's construction, Kalyon Energy announced a national architectural competition to design the central control and management building. They also wanted the building to accommodate national and international events. Actually, we had no prior knowledge of this area. It was a place that we had never even passed by. And when we visited, this was the view we encountered: barren and flatlands stretching to the horizon. The vastness of the landscape erases any sense of scale, posing a significant challenge for architecture. It feels as though anything you build here could just fit in, yet at the same time, nothing would truly belong here.
Actually, when you visit the site where the plant is being constructed, this is the view. You might think you are watching the same video, but you are not. These are 3 different videos from 3 different spots. It's an experience that feels like it repeats and endless.
And it's the first time that we encountered something like this, and it was a really shocking moment for us as well.
Yeah, thousands of panels.
Yeah.
The sense of infinity we experienced was reinforced when reviewing the competition documents. As we examined the site drawings, it felt as though we were getting lost in space. Thousands of panels and thousands of square meters. It's really interesting
yeah, and
drawing.
Also, it's the first time that we saw such a drawing. I mean, there is almost 1.3 million of solar panels in a CAD drawing,
some rectangles.
and it's really easy to get lost in this drawing. And we have to design a very tiny spot on that.
This spot, it's you can see actually in the middle of the
Yeah.
area,
Yeah.
but so tiny. At the end of the day, the main question on our mind was, can a management building designed here engage with its surroundings? Can it truly belong to this place?
Yeah. It's a tough question also for us. We really thought so much time about it. We spent countless hours. And the context actually for an architecture is uh, of course one of the most important things. But in such a region, without any context, let's say, it's kind of a huge problem to design something there. And after we saw the results, it was truly fascinating experience for us. Because when we reviewed the results, we noticed that almost none of the projects resembled each other. It was clear that the challenges faced by the participants were also experienced by the jury itself. Each project was rich and well developed, evaluated with this unique context. So we try to design a building that extends to the horizon during the day with a highly reflective facade, actually. We accepted that no building could truly belong here, and instead placed an abstract object, let's say, elevated from the ground, like the surrounding solar panels. We imagined that this object changing with the weather conditions and different weather times and sun position, communicating with the earth and sky. And also at night, the experience is changes. We picture it shining like a jewel, becoming a landmark for the solar power plant. And with this proposal, we won the competition, and immediately the construction phase started. So the building was completed in 2 years and opened in September 2023. To see our design, we need to get much closer, of course. So we have a really tiny, very tiny spot there. Uh, Maybe you can.
We called the project Oasis. In this harsh landscape, it's a building that brings back the sense of the scale to the human level. We wanted to design a building at the intersection of nature, technology, and human experience. For the staff, it offers a comfortable space, workspace areas, because it's an office building at the same time. For the visitors, it provides an architectural experience where they can learn about renewable energy, because the building try to welcome the engineers, national or international engineers and students. Looking at how we got to this point, our responsibility was limited to this area, actually. We carefully positioned the central control building at a height and the distance that wouldn't cast shadows on the solar panels. And also, this is the construction site, the beginning one, actually. We already knew it would be challenging to build in this geography. So we try to minimize on-site construction as much as possible. I have mentioned before, this area is yeah, really far away from the biggest cities. That's why we know it would be difficult.
So why is it a problem? Because you are far away from the industry. You are far away from the know-how of building something. So when you are building in a desert region, let's say, and when you are doing something very tiny, you don't really get the attention of high quality manufacturers, high quality workers. So every operation would be challenging, and on even in the design phase, we imagined and we already knew this will be a problem for a high quality prestige building. But we try to minimize the on-site construction for the problems itself, and try to build the almost whatever we can, let's say,
Yeah.
with off-site construction methods.
We use each material exactly where it would perform best and in the right amount, neither more or nor less. We need to do this.
This was also an important
Yeah.
task for us, because for example, this concrete thing. I mean, there was only
One
one
concrete
place,
plant.
yeah, one plant, one concrete plant to achieve a concrete, and in this time of region, it was really problematic because it really depends on the time of the day, and also the daylight and the night temperature differences are so high. So it was not an easy task to build in this way.
And also this foundation construction was in the winter time. That's why it's really harsh conditions
Yeah,
occurred. That's why two big problems
yeah.
actually
And why we did use concrete? Of course, we had to actually,
for the
because we
foundation.
already knew that the soil was weak. I mean. Like in hundred of meters we checked it, and there was only weak soil. So we designed, and the building stands on something like 86 uh, friction
Friction pile.
piles with an elevated concrete foundation. So we had to use concrete to hover and to stand on this weak soil. Actually, it's like a pier building, but without any water. And above this level, we used the prefabrication methods.
Yeah, we designed a semi-buried partial basement floor for technical rooms and services, and they are accessible from the directly from the outside.
And also, we can achieve to minimize the footprint of
Footprint.
the
Yeah.
overall construction.
The other area, the filling. This is the ground floor. Actually, on the top of this, this is 164 by 164 feet prism, divided diagonally into private and semi-private areas. Below, you can see the sorry, above you can see the office areas, engineering rooms, meeting rooms, and the brain of the plant, SCADA room. And below there is a foyer, multi-purpose hall, and cafeteria areas. And also,
We already knew that this of course this is a private building, a private office building, but we tried to make a space that could almost gather people, almost open to public. So it could be used as a semi-public space, because in that region, for Karapınar region, that could be also an important topic as well. And in terms of privacy, we use these all office areas on top here, and we divided this diagonal line with a courtyard. And when we use this semi-public, let's say, programs below.
And also courtyard shapes the circulation around itself and sometimes expand and make spaces, more spaces for multi-purpose halls, cafeteria, and some sitting and relaxation areas. And it is very center of the building. You find the courtyard with a lush landscape, both dividing the zones, private and semi-private zones, but also connecting them with itself.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, if you have a one tour, just following the borders of this courtyard, you will see all the building.
Yeah. At the roof, it's a green terrace roof. It's offering a 360-degree panoramic view. You can see whole power plant area. These are the construction plans, actually.
And in terms of just trying to design this building, we learned that due to the regulations, the electricity generated in the plant cannot be used directly in this building. So all electricity must be connected to the state grid. Therefore, we focused on to maximize the efficiency of the building. So for that, what we did actually is that, first of all, we used a double facade design to control and block the 65% of sun's radiation. And we have some PV panels on top for
Belongs to this building.
yeah,
Actually.
It's just for the building. And we were able to use a natural cross ventilation between the courtyard and the outside as well. We used high efficiency heating and cooling systems. We collect rainwater whenever we can. We store it and reuse for the landscaping. And one of the interesting thing is that we used the landscape itself as a shade as well. So it's not just a regular place there. It's really on the heart of the building, working like a machine there.
Analog control.
Yeah,
Actually.
it's like we with the outside facade, we control it directly. We block the facade with to shade the building, but on the inside, in courtyard, we do the same thing with the trees as well. Because if you think about it, we really examine and strategically positioned all the trees in the courtyard so that in summertime it will give a very big shade areas, but controversially in wintertime when the leaves gone, the sun can achieve directly into the building and help to the heating system as well. So it's a passive analog. I don't know how can we say. And also we have this green roof as a very good isolation for a one-story building that could be a problematic in that region as well. And we use numerous of different electrical automation systems to have a electricity efficiency. And passively, on the other hand, we use natural daylight to flow inside, to not to block the natural daylight and make it make it almost with the transparency levels, make it almost flow inside of the building.
So far we have shared some technical details, but at the end of the day, what we designed is intended to create multiple architectural experience. The first experience begins outside uh, with its highly reflective facade. We aimed for the building to communicate with the vast emptiness around it, sky and the ground, actually.
Actually, the building changes its color and sense of scale at different times. It's a really interesting experience that you see the building uh, when you go to this building at 9 o'clock in the morning, and when you're out, it's a total different experience. And even in different weathers, in different seasons, it almost blends with nature, blends with surroundings. We try to create a dialogue with the sky and even the earth. Uh, on the other hand, of course, we also needed a clear visibility from inside to outside. Obviously, it's a office building, and
At the end of the day, this is an
th
office building and they need daylight and
yeah, this should
we
not be the only experience outside. So what we did is actually a double facade design. The left side you see here is the building's main facade, while the right side acts as a sunshade. The temperatures in summer in this region can reach up to 113 Fahrenheit degrees. So we designed a second layer that allows for airflow. While doing this, we focused on a modular design, of course, that could be prefabricated off-site and brought to the site ready to assemble. So the question is that what do we expect from a facade in such a landscape? How can we bring the architectural idea to life? And our proposal for the competition started with a vision that seemed quite simple, actually. But what are the expectations here? So if we imagine together, so the outside needs to be reflected as much as possible. The first rule is that. The second rule, the criteria is that the exterior will be visible from inside. So it's an office
these are
space.
already opposite of each
Yeah.
other.
And of course, we have these geographical orientations, and every facade needs a different percentage of
Shade.
uh, radiation control depending on its orientation. And uh, nonetheless, what if we adapt to the transparency requirements of the interior space? We are not stopping on thinking of it. I mean, we are trying to expand the idea, improve the idea. And let's say, if we think about it, the transparency levels that we created regarding the sunshade, uh, it could not be the only solution, I guess. I mean, it could refer to the inside program. I mean, it's a foyer space, or if it's a meeting room, or if it's a service hallway.
Yeah, just the
So,
office room.
uh, what if we can control the transparency levels of these diverse programs? And what if in section wise, let's say with the height, what if we control the transparency level in our eye level, for example? Do we really need to have to achieve the same transparency
Of course.
level in vertically. So these are the performance criteria actually, but we are not stopping there. We still continue on thinking about it. Of course, it needs to be resistant to these harsh climatic conditions. And the favorite one for the clients, it must provide an economical solution. So what we did is actually we used the most expensive one. Uh, we tried to use stainless steel plates. Actually, we tried different versions of materials, like we tried aluminum, we tried glass, a double glass, and glazed glass. Also, we researched about these built-in solar glasses, and at the end of the day, we thought that stainless steel could be a solution for us because it's durable, and we can have a really nice reflection on the surface, and also we can use this material in a very thin way. So it's getting very economic if you use a very thin sheet of metal.
Because the other options are not cheaper than this, the
Uh,
result one
Actually,
actually.
this one is the if we reimagine the feasibility, this was the one of the most economical
Yes.
versions of this, and even to go further, we make standard four different panels because if you make a standard panel, it will bring the cost even more down. So at the end of the day, we solve this number, 7,200 panels, and exactly at this point, we understood the scale of the problem that we created. So we were almost drowning in this problem. But of course, you can't tackle a challenge like this with just pen and paper these days. But we collaborated with our academician friend from Delft University, Cemal Koray Bingöl, to develop a series of codes. The first goal was to determine the optimal level of permeability for each panel. Within infinite possibilities, we used evolutionary algorithms to find the most suitable perforation size for these four panels. And additionally, we started using another code to manage the distribution of these four panels. And on the other hand, we work to control the transparency levels created when these panels come together. The red marked groups represent here the north facade, which needed the highest levels of transparency. And the blue sections indicate service corridors, for example. And all these efforts were aimed at determining the precise and most efficient exact positions for each panel on the facade. And of course, no matter what you achieve on computer, real life can yield different results. That's why we tested our findings with a one-to-one scale facade mockup, and we produced in Istanbul. We adjusted the perforation ratios, fed the data back into the code, and observed the new configuration under different weather conditions and different times. And at the end of the process, finally, we delivered the final layout to the construction site. And what you see here is our from actual
Construction document.
construction drawing set. We specified the arrangement of all 7,200 panels one by one. And of course, our efforts, uh, our efforts did not stop with the creating and solving this problem. We also had to check and control every single one of them if it's done properly or not.
Yeah. Actually, by the day, the facade seems solid, almost opaque facade, but at night, its true transparency becomes visible. It's also interesting experience for us as well. Uh, then we extended this facade concept to the point where even the building's entrance is hidden. The entrance reveals itself as you climb the gentle, these red steps leading to it, inviting you outside. Inside, it's a completely different story and different experience. The space is designed to restore the sense of scale lost in the vast emptiness outside. It's created at a human scale for people, blending technology, nature, and human experience again.
Here you can see a render of the same area, for example. Uh, let's say this one and this one. So during the design phase, we try to model and simulate many seemingly minor details. Uh, we try to model every little details and try to visualize
Sure.
the reality. And our goal is not just to try to describe the final space to the team through drawings, but also help them, the
Yeah.
workers itself, to
Feel the space,
feel
feel
the
the building.
space. And we took this idea further by integrating these 360-degree renders into the construction site. We placed QR codes at various points, and when you scan the code with your phone, the workers could view a 360 version of a completed space from their exact location.
Yeah, it really helped to understand what they are doing actually.
Yeah. So this space is actually serves as both as an welcoming venue and an efficient office space. In the interior, we use almost no colors other than the white tones. We leave the color to the courtyard's landscaping, the plants actually, and the facade wraps around the building like a delicate wheel casting patterned shadows inside throughout the day. So it's also very interesting for us to see this building. When you work here, you get used to this sun position inside. So you never lost your connection with the sun itself.
Miss
And
the time, you never miss the time.
yeah, and also you feel it inside. With these casting shadows moving inside of this building, and it's really kind of related to the solar power plant as well, because all these panels, all these 1.3 million panels, is already tracking the sun position.
Uh, Additionally, we placed digital art installations in the buildings for concrete corners. We collaborated with young new media artists in Turkey, bringing their works together under the theme of sustainability and clean energy. In total, 5 works by 4 different artists interact with the building, living as a digital data art that uses various local data sets, much like the building itself, actually. For instance, in the main event space, Süleyman Yılmaz piece visualized the electricity production data from the solar panels, cross-referencing it with wind and cloud conditions.
So during the
There are,
day, the
yeah,
screen is changing between red and blue. The more reddish one is
more electricity produced.
produced more electricity, and the blue ones when you're leaving out at 5 p.m.
Yeah, you can see
at night.
more bluish.
Yeah.
Uh,
And Ecem's work is about the overall geographical conditions of Karapınar area. Alitan's Sandil, my personal favorite, actually.
Mine as
Uh,
well, I guess.
Directly connected to the time. The work is called Sundial, so it changes every single second fluently during the day. And Hakan's work is a mixture of the colors that we used for plantation in the courtyard. Additionally, we also, in collaboration with Yiğit Alp and Hazal, the directors of Roll-Up Studio in Turkey, we designed the reception desk as a part of a digital fabrication workshop that we organized in Istanbul Technical University.
Masterclass students
Yeah,
actually involved.
and it was manufactured using robotic arms and 3D printing, and then installed on site.
These are some images from the office areas. This is a meeting room.
And if you also remember the topic that we were talking about, the natural sunlight, to achieve this, we never block a wall until the ceiling.
The separation walls
Yeah,
between the
it's always having a somehow a kind of a transparency level on top or on the wall itself. So we try to achieve a very homogeneous natural daylight, not to use any lights inside during the day.
This is also a simple office room actually. This is interesting because this office area's main facade is, in this case, the courtyard
Yeah,
facade
normally you
actually.
expect a main facade to look outside, but in this position, the main facade becomes the courtyard itself. So somehow the building looking each other
Yeah,
inside. And the courtyard is also this pictures actually from the almost the beginning
very
of the
beginning of the
the
after
very,
construction.
yeah, very end of the construction. So nowadays this landscape is very lush, and even it's almost in the double height after 1.5 years. So it is also a very good place for workers to relax there, because also we observed that a microclimate changes in this place. If the weather is too hot there, it's kind of a better breeze that you can achieve there.
Absolutely. And the story ends on the top rooftop terrace, where visitors can enjoy a stunning view of the entire plant. There is a 360-degree vision. It's also interesting to be here and chill for the visitors.
And also for construction, it's in Turkish regulations, it was also challenging to build some roof in
Yeah,
these positions.
especially fire regulations. You need to have stairs for this square meter place. But we reinvented
Reinvent the staircase.
staircase because we don't want any uh, height obstacles
Yeah.
in this height.
Yeah. So just as we envisioned during the competition, today the building stands almost untouched by the barren lands of Karapunar, and it adapts the surrounding weather conditions and shines at night as the interface of this significant investment. Uh, And with the project, we try to craft a space that speaks to the challenges of our time. One that not only serves its purpose, but also changes into an architectural experience. We aim to highlight the vital role of green energy, bringing attention to the need for responsible, forward-thinking design. The building opened in September 2023 and has been in use for over a year now. So far, it has received many visitors from across Turkey, including high school and university students exploring green energy and architecture. And even the clients didn't expect such an attention
Yeah.
to this building, and they almost open all these invitations and all these visitors the building.
They
So
try to accept all of the
visiting
requests. Yes.
requests, yeah, yeah. And in June, it even hosted the United Nations Habitat Organization. And let's wrap up with some few photos. This one from 2021 February competition model
Wow.
that we sent. July 2022. Uh, that this was the line that they almost tried to build this concrete thing in 6 months,
Yeah, around 6 months.
and in 3 weeks all this steel structure was came together. And in March is almost close to the opening, and in June 2023 the United Nations conference has been,
Sustainable features.
yeah, yeah. It was also a very beautiful moment for us as well, because we for years we dreamed about it, such an organization, and we were really happy to be there and involved there. And also in Turkey last year there was an open door festival, an architectural festival, open to public. We organized this in that building. And in September last year, in 16th Architecture Awards by Turkish Architecture Association, the building selected as the best building award. And in November, we won the Production, Energy and Logistics category in the World Architectural Festival in Singapore. That's all from now, from us for now. But maybe Benay, can you show the uh, video and then we can maybe continue uh,
Just 2 minutes video.
on the questions. I mean, if the timing is okay.
You want to take the questions while the video is playing?
It's just 2 minutes,
Let
so
me show the
after
video.
we can. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Is there sound?
Yeah, there's a sound. The cat is there.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. If you have any questions, we are more than happy to answer.
Okay. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Bilgin. It was great to listen. The details of the project. I've seen it a lot, but I didn't know all the details about the project. So being mindful of your time, and it's already late there. Let's ask the audience if they have any questions for you. Okay. You have a question? Okay, Matthew, but you need to speak.
How did you guys get the idea to put the art installations, the screens in your structure? How did you come up with the screen, with the display?
I mean, we already have you finished? I'm sorry.
So Matthew is asking about how you guys got the idea of installing those the art screens in the building.
Yeah, we already really get used to this new art, digital arts, and even you know Refik Anadol is we were in the same university in Turkey, so over the years in this new media art in Turkey is improving a lot, and we have very good new media artists here. And in my opinion, as an architect, the main problem with this data art is that they need data. I mean, not any data, but regarding within a context, this that we imagined that it could really fit to this building as well, because it's a major data pool, you know. All these millions of panels standing this building, millions of lines of data. They have 4 different weather stations in this land, so that to use that and visualize the visitors that you can easily say that I am producing this much energy, but this is another way to explain and feel the visitors what you produce there.
Thank you.
Any questions from the audience? I have a question. Oh, wait, right up. I didn't see. Sorry.
Well, I probably jumped on
Okay.
this where they can hear better
I don't know. I think that's where the microphone is.
Okay. On the screen. Thank you. Thank you so much for this amazing project. I have a question which may not be a fair question to ask you. The image that you show that is on all of our posters here, which I assume is one that you love, and you showed it tonight as well, positions the building against this array. So we see this field of infinity that just goes on forever. And then we see the building as a kind of anomaly, as something that's different against the array. In the site plan or in other views, we also see building and the array, but there's a lot of other stuff, like the roadway, all the things that are in between the building and the array. I was curious, like, architecturally, how did you see these other things that were not the building and were not the array? There a set of third things which happen around between the building and the array, and I'm curious how you thought about those.
Maybe I can open.
Sorry about the screen. I was hoping to make sure they hear me.
So I will try to answer as much as I can understand. The thing here in our vision that blending to this area, to this land, and making something really belongs to this area is impossible in architecturally. I mean, you can have flowing some shapes. You can dig
Bury
the
it.
ground and bury the building itself. You can have so many maneuvers, and we already see this the other competition projects the proposals. What we try to deal here is that we already accept this building like it's not really belong there, like the solar farm itself. I mean, it's a foreign object for this geography. Millions of panels are
Standing there
standing
now.
there, and it will be used about, let's say, in 20, 30 years, it will be needed to renewed. So not to fight with this situation, we try to accept it. And all these roads and all these other buildings there around surroundings doesn't really care about the other stuff that we are talking about. And we try to achieve a very human vision. I mean, this place, the workers inside will be working there 24/7, with shifts and going on. And with such a climate, it's really not very easy to work there in that geography. So first of all, we aim to achieve a nice, comfortable area for them, and then secondly for others. So I don't know if it's an
Answer for your
exact
question.
answer, but
Thank you.
Okay, I have a question too. This
yeah.
is and I. So, as a young architect group, how does it feel like? Because you talked, I don't know, maybe 40 minutes about one project, which is not always the case in these lectures. So it looks like you know all about this building, right? From nuts and bolts to all the details. How does it feel like to visit the building after it's been built? Like you probably saw all drawings all the time in the computer renders, but what was your feeling when you actually went to the building after it was completed?
It was shocking for us because I mean, if how much if you try to simulate the situation in computer, it doesn't really uh, shows the reality in real conditions. You cannot really simulate the exact sun simulation there. So it was the first time, and personally, I didn't solve a facade made of this stainless steel in this way before. So it was the first time that we saw the facade with the workers as well and the clients as well. So it was kind of very stressful for us because we didn't even know how they will react actually. But fortunately, luckily, they really liked it. It's not a common way for them, but they really liked it. And also, especially in the day that UN Habitat came and make this sustainable organization, we also invited as architects, and we had a small presentation there. It was a beautiful moment for us to be with all these beautiful people inside, enjoying our time.
And the
Uh,
building.
we spent almost 2 3 years designing it. So as a young architect, of course, it's a very incredible experience for us.
And also we, while construction, we visited the building every month
Yeah,
and maybe sometimes twice a month.
yeah,
That's why it's also really important for us. We need to follow the process. It's also so important when you after you designed the project, you have to check the details on site. That's why we were so excited,
yeah.
and also
And
you
also,
go.
we were also really happy with this attention actually, because in Turkey we heard that so many high school students, for example, the high schools and universities are calling this power plant and want to visit the office building. I mean, uh, as an architect, it's a very interesting and very important feeling, I guess, to be involved in such an experience.
If we have time, we go with them and yeah, make some
Yeah,
presentations in the building. If we have time, if we can arrange,
yeah.
it's also a nice experience for us.
Okay, thank you
So
so
Benay,
much.
maybe if you have time, we will visit together.
Yes, I would love to when I come to Turkey. Actually, there's, I believe, a question online on Zoom.
Yeah.
Um, at least someone asked if online questions are okay. So Ali Moreno, if you can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm Ali Moreno. I'm a graduate in geodesign from Penn State. I'm very delighted that you came to, here virtually to talk to us about your work and the process, and to really go into detail about um, how you arrived at your solution to this very unique problem. I have to confess, though, when I'm looking at the image, imagining the site and knowing a little bit about, the Turkish landscape, I thought about those historical dramas that I see on TRT, where inevitably the characters they visit a caravanserai, in the middle of the wilderness, sometime during the Seljuk era or the Ottoman era, and it looked to me, I kind of saw the plan and I looked at it and I said, very similar. You've got the cells or the stalls of the caravanserai around the perimeter wall. It's kind of like a fortress, and in the middle there's a courtyard. I guess that's where they would stable animals or they would do some kind of trade or something like that. And instead you have a garden. But that image was in my head, so you can comment. That's my comment. But my question is really about a different topic, which is about some of your other projects and the state of the city of Istanbul. and how you see the future, the urban future of Istanbul, because the short time that I spent there, that was kind of that was a debate going on. Like, how is this city going to unfold in the midst of so much change, like inside of the country, regionally, and then really like internationally? I hope that's a fair question and a fair comment. Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, in my childhood, Istanbul population was around something like between 6 million, something like that. And now it's officially around 16 million.
18, I guess.
This is unofficial number.
Sorry.
So that the city itself, it's a chaotic city, but it's a metropolitan. And the thing is, the problem with Istanbul is that all investment is always focused on Istanbul, or is always focused on one city. So it's a very heavy duty to have to achieve everything in one city. So it's getting giant and giant every day. But of course, we have so many issues with the earthquakes, with the lack of water, and we have
Climate change.
with the climate change, we will encounter some more dry areas even, and it will be getting very fastly more problematic every day for the people in Istanbul. And I'm not really sure if we have a politics for the strategy for the next 50 years. I mean, it seems like we always concentrate on some minor steps, some like we kind of know in the next 5 years what's gonna happen, but we are not really sure about 10 years. I mean, it's a problem for everyone, but also, you know, on the other hand, it gives you a very interesting challenge to be alive and to create. So on the other hand, it keeps you always very dynamic.
Up to date.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Caner and Begüm. It was a pleasure to have you here, and thank you again for your flexibility and timing. So let's give them a last round.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us here today. We extend our heartfelt thanks to wonderful Benay, of course, our Penn State Department of Architecture. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us here.
Benay, can I ask you some favor? Can you take a photo of all of us? If you can, I don't know.
All of us. Impossible mission.
But also the audience.
We all have to turn around.
Okay, done.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you so much.